Hello, hello. Happy new moon in Aquarius. Happy Lunar New Year. You're the water rabbit. Those are always on the same day. Just in case you didn't know, the Lunar New Year is literally when there is the new moon in Aquarius. So that's a super fun little fact. So it can change different years, different days. Very exciting stuff. But this video is specifically about the new moon in Aquarius. Very, very exciting. The energies of Aquarius, 11th house on the natural chart, is very much being authentic, being inventive, progression, humanity, the bigger picture. Kind of the 11th house is your house of friends, networks, clubs, groups, kind of how you interact as a collective. So that is super exciting. If your rising sign is different than Aries, so that's on the natural chart. So I am a Virgo rising. So Aquarius for me rules my 6th house, which is the house of routines, habits, kind of daily to-dos, making checklists, that kind of thing, and health. So last year it was really funny. I was watching the video to kind of look at where I was at last year at this time, and I was outside. There was this beautiful sunrise happening. I was talking about doing a 50-day or a 50 squats a day challenge with my mom, and it was really great. And I was talking on the video about I was like, oh, I'll probably have to do an arm workout too, figure that out. And it was amazing because sure enough, just saying that on the video, like, oh, I'll probably have to do an arm workout. I did not do arm workouts, but for some reason, whatever I was doing in my daily life apparently toned my arms, because throughout the next few months, there were multiple people that came up and they were like, your arms. And I'm like, really? Thank you. So I do want to encourage you to make your intentions. You have kind of a 72-hour window is the thought, and be careful, like be very, very specific, and be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And that's what I love the most about manifesting, is that you really do have the power to create whatever it is that you want if you truly believe it, and if you voice it, if you write it down. So give yourself the gift of time and light a candle, or start your diffuser, or, put on your sound bath meditation. I have a couple of Tibetan singing bowl and some meditation music saved on a YouTube playlist that is kind of my go-to, and just take the time to really get clear on what it is that you want. I'll be posting a blog post, so you can go ahead and check that out at madmaisha.com. And it really talks about focus. So not only how to focus, but also kind of what to focus on, because you really want to stay in the positive. If you say things like, I don't want to eat any more junk food, those are like don'ts, can'ts, won'ts, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to eat more healthy, and I'm going to eat proportions that are more relevant to my body size. So that's what I'm going to be doing for my health. I actually have the blog already drafted up. So I talk a little bit about a friend that recommended wall Pilates. My wrists, I need to work on those as far as strength. So yoga has not really been my go-to as far as health and fitness. So wall Pilates is going to be my go-to health and my daily check-in for working out. So, and I want you to know, like, make it, if go as big or as small as you want. So for me, I'm going to try to get 10 minutes a day of physical exercise. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to get 10 minutes a day of physical exercise. So whether that's wall Pilates, stretching, going for a walk, I am going to make it a daily routine of mine to get my body moving in all of the cool ways that it can, because sometimes I forget about that. I just get super creative, and especially if I'm at my desk, I just all of a sudden find that 8 hours later, I'm still sitting in the same spot. I'm clearly not hydrated because I haven't had to get up in 8 hours. So that's, for me, Virgo rising, health habits, definitely water intake, food intake, and exercising. But I also am, if you've been following along, you know that I'm in the middle of, I guess not in the middle, like maybe a fifth of the way through a year of daily doodles again. So that's super exciting. And this year is about daily doodle messengers. So it's a little bit different than the last daily doodle was basically asking a question, sourcing the answer, painting it. This year's daily doodles are about messengers. And so it's about finding the symbol and then kind of intuitively, what does that mean to me? Like, what are the symbols of, what's the symbolism of that thing? And then what's the message that it shares? And so that's been really cool for me to really tap into my intuition. So not only a personal knowledge, but also the collective knowledge has really been like working itself in, which I find really great. And especially for Aquarius, you've got yourself, but you also have the group, the collective, right? So that's cool. And I'm actually with Lori at Free Spirit Mode. We're doing a 10-day creativity challenge, which starts on the 22nd. So, and I know that, like different things work for different people. So I am going ahead and making it a free 10-day course on my website. So again, madmaisha.com, and you can just join the program for free. And it's a 10-day, well, I think for the course, I gave it 14 days because if for some reason you don't do it every day, I don't want you to get kicked out and not have the opportunity to make catch-up days. But the idea is it's a daily creativity practice, and I love it. I know that I personally am a much happier, much more intelligent human being when I am doing creative practices on a daily basis or mostly daily basis. I find that what I'm able to do at the canvas, if I'm making decisions or being courageous or trying something new, when I do it at the canvas, whether it's a greeting card or an actual canvas or paper or sketchbook, whatever that is, then I can kind of take that energy and put it into my daily life, which really helps, especially when it comes to decision making. I, up until now, am kind of like, oh, like maybe you can make the decision instead, which I feel like I'm a very, pretty easygoing person. And I definitely know my no's and I know my yeses, but there's a lot of like, it doesn't really matter, as long as we're not eating shellfish, I'm great. But I am trying to take more control of that. So, when I make a decision at the canvas, it then helps me make decisions in my daily life and feel more confident in that decision making, knowing like, hey, you can make this decision, and if it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't, you can pivot, right? So that's really cool. So yeah, that is kind of what I wanted to share with you. So take the time if you can. It's so beneficial to sit down, to write down your intentions, to sit down and really get clear on what it is that you're shooting for. I also love with the moon cycle, I know a lot of people I talked to this year were talking about, I was not ready to set resolutions on January 1st. And I was right there. I was going, yep, I'm overwhelmed. There's just a lot of energy. Mars was in retrograde. Mercury was in retrograde. Uranus was in retrograde. all these planets were in retrograde. And so Mars, the planet of action, being retrograde doesn't help with, motivation of go-getting. Mercury retrograde, it's funny enough, technology, communication. My computer stopped recognizing its startup disk, even though it's a solid state Mac. So that was a fun little adventure. So it just was really kind of this weird energy for me. And then I found that a lot of people were kind of sharing that. So they were all talking about like, oh, I'm going to use the Lunar New Year. And even Aries, the astrological New Year, there's so many opportunities. And that's what I was saying is I love about the working with the moon is that every month, every 28 to 30 days, you get a new opportunity to sit down and say, okay, what is it that I want to focus on right now? What do I want to focus on this month? What are my 3 most important goals for this month? And I love that. So I just want to share that and just kind of pop in and say, hey, if you're looking for an excuse to set some intentions or make some goals, now's the time. So, like I said, Aquarius as the natural energy is very much about innovation, being authentic. So what do you want to learn? How do you want to grow? What are you doing as as a bigger, on a bigger scale with like groups or clubs or organizations. So if you want to become a member of an organization, now's a great time. And then if you know your rising sign, obviously it's going to affect as well whatever house it's triggering for you. If you don't know your rising sign, go ahead and reach out. I would love to cast your natal charts. It's like one of my favorite things to do because it just tells, you know, it's like this little secret little pocket of information, and I love going through it with people. So if you don't know your rising sign, you want to reach out, do that. I would happily cast your chart. But yeah, if you just want to work with like the natural energy of Aquarius, you know, think about if you don't have something in mind that you're like, I really want to do this, let's do that. Yeah, think about how can you be either a more like a better member of your club or organization or friend group networks, you know, get together with your friends. Maybe it's, you know, how do you want to be more authentic? Have you kind of been hiding your true self and maybe you want to shine a little bit more? And how can you come forward with that in your daily life? So those are a couple little things that you can kind of work on this month if you don't have anything specific that you are already thinking about. And yeah, if you want to share them, great. If not, go ahead and just write them down, a little daily affirmation. There's some new moon intention, ritual worksheet kind of information on my website, as well as a free PDF download. So if you go to madmaisha.com/moon, you will get to that page. And there's, I believe there's a new moon, a full moon, and getting energetically clear. So all of those worksheets are available for free on my website. And I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I would love if you want to reach out. I'm happy to hear about all the good things or anything that you're excited about working towards. So just feel free to stay connected. You can find me madmaisha.com, @madmaisha for Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So yeah. I'm awesome. You're awesome. Let's be awesome together.